What's up everyone, Boomslangg here with a reaction video to the state of the game that was this morning. There's been almost an outrage of people talking about the different nerfs, the different things that are changing in the game, from the gear sets to the weapons to the everything. Okay, I'm gonna get into like a whole weapon balance talk later on. Personally, I think the weapon balances are they're okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that out of the way. The first thing we're going to talk about is the Gearset Nurse. And these aren't tweaks or whatever, they're nerfs. That you can't say anything else there. They're cutting the Striker and Sentry's first and second buffs, like attributes, basically in half, and are now attaching that onto a fifth gear set attachment in order to keep people running from like 4 Sentries and 2 Strikers, or 4 Strikers, 2 Sentries, vice versa. Now, there's a couple reasons I don't understand why they're doing this. Like, why would you split up some of the, obviously they're very good gear sets. All the others are trash, pretty much. I mean, there's some that I like to run that are different, but I would never actually use this in like a serious situation. So why would you take some of the best ones and then half them so you only get to use basically one or the other? You can't use these anymore with any other kind of gear sets. You get to put on 5 of these, and then you're going to have to wear one high end or one other from a gear set, and it's not even, I don't understand why you would do this. I don't, like, if it was that much of a problem, why don't you just nerf the percentage of the armor damage or the headshot damage by 5%? To me personally, in the Dark Zone, I think that the Predator's Mark is the one that has, like, that's the biggest problem right now. When you get the bleed damage applied to you all the time. The Strikers, its 4th talent it's not even really that great. I don't understand why people were freaking out about having to nerf that or whatever. Like, that's not even what I'm most upset about. This is something that, is going to definitely affect a lot of people's gameplay, and people are upset about it. I need to look at the other gear sets in the game besides Strikers and Sentries and make sure those are balanced with the other ones to kind of remove this Tanktician meta, because now they are literally eliminating the only gear sets that helped people compete with these guys who are running with 500k toughness and blowing people up with 1 sticky bomb. So I don't know where they're going with this. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see after 1.3 to kind of figure out what their mindset is. So I don't know, we'll just have to see how it plays out. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is something I don't understand why they do this, the blind system battle rifle is not going to be in update 1.3. But it was in the builds that we played at E3. Not only that, but the blind system battle rifle, the frontline gear set, those are not going to be in 1.3 as they were in the build at E3. Why do they put these things in these builds and not test them enough? Why would you put these guns in this game and they're not finished? Why would you not test these guns out and make sure they're ready to go before you show this thing to the public? And the same thing, the same thing happens with the Showstopper. They showed it in the 1.2 trailer, but the Showstopper isn't going to be in the game until 1.3. Why show these guns before they're ever ready to go in the game? Get the update fixed and then release it to the public. Don't say, all right, here's this gun, this gun, this gun, here's this gear set, here's this. Oh, we're releasing the patch on the 28th. Oh, never mind. It's not going to be on the 28th, which is another thing I'm going to talk about. And if the patch is not ready to go, then you need to postpone it for everybody, or don't give a date on it. Like they said that the patch 1.3 is being delayed on PlayStation 4. I understand why they need to keep their dates for PC and Xbox One. They have all their exclusive deals with those, so they have to get those out on time. But then PlayStation 4 players are just getting shafted. You guys aren't, we don't even know when we're going to be getting this update. Get everything in line before you talk about these things. You guys are hurting yourselves. You're shooting yourselves in the foot by doing this. You need to fix your development process. I don't know what needs to happen, but something needs to change. If this keeps happening with the updates, update 1.4 or the rest of these expansions, it's just going to get uglier. The community is in an outrage right now, and I'm not personally extremely upset, but I'm getting to that point, and I'm one of the most positive people in this entire community, but I want this game to do well. I'm not sitting here hating on this game, wanting it to fail. I want this game to succeed, and it's making me sad right now. I really hope in the future that they focus on things that the community have really been crying out about. No one was really crying about the Strikers. No one was really upset about Sentries. They fixed Sentries by putting it on only marksman rifles. It was a pretty big deal when the talent was proccing on submachine guns and things like that. I'm more concerned about Predator's Mark because it bleeds and it's really frustrating. If you have a 4-man squad of people running on that, you're basically incapacitated completely. The Tank-Tician meta needs to be addressed. The toughness is absolutely ridiculous. It's almost impossible to kill people in the Dark Zone right now. There needs to be some sort of cap on toughness and cap on skill power and cap on DPS, and then balance that to where you can't hit all 3 caps at the same time, so it really forces people to choose whether you want to be a tank, whether you want to be DPS, or whether you want to run with skill power. There needs to be some sort of inner reworking to make everything balanced. Shock turrets are another thing that I think need to be addressed. I think instead of maybe nerfing the shock turrets, they could maybe look at the other gear sets that don't really get used, and they could somehow implement more exotic damage resilience on those. I know that there are some that have those, but then the gear sets aren't that great that have those particular perks on them. Maybe make exotic damage resilience a little more useful in the game. I don't know. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed in the game, and I hope that they do that in the future, and I really believe that they will. I don't really know what's going on over there right now, but things are a little weird. We don't know when the PlayStation 4 patch is coming. We don't know when we're going to be getting our 3 new outfits. And then with the nerfs to the gear sets and people upset about the nerfs on the guns, personally, like I said earlier, I'm not that upset about the nerfs to the guns. I think that kind of needed to happen. All the weapons needed to be brought into balance. So people who are upset about your precious AUGs and your precious vectors and all those things, you need to take a chill pill, because those guns were OP and they needed to be brought into level with the rest of the SMGs. When those are the only guns being used, then they need to be readjusted. Strikers and sentries were not the only ones being used. There are definitely other viable gear sets out there that you can use besides sentries and besides strikers. That's why that kind of nerf doesn't really make sense to me. And now these are awkward 5-piece gear set, and they're the only ones that are like that. If you're going to make one 5-piece, you need to make them all 5-piece. They all need to be the same, because then they're just different from each other, and they're in this weird kind of realm of why would you even use these if they're 5-piece? I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how 1.3 changes the division and where they go from this moving forward. So I'm going to be making a video about the weapon balance and kind of my reaction to that. That's something I'm actually excited for. This other stuff, with the thing that I'm like most concerned about is putting stuff in the game and showing it to the public that's not ready, that's like not done, and then going like saying the game is coming out, or saying the patch is coming out on one day and then pulling it back and saying, no, it's actually not coming out. We don't know when it's coming out. It's going to be fixed here, so whatever. Something needs to happen. I don't know where in the development process things are getting mixed up, but something needs to change. It needs to be fixed, or it's going to be rough for the division in the future. So that was my little rant. I don't normally do this at all. Like I said, I'm normally an extremely positive person, and I'm still excited for it. I'm still going to play it. Hopefully everything gets smoothed out and things are fine. But so for now, we're just going to have to wait and see how things play out. But yeah, the community is a little upset right now, and I can understand that, but I think it's for reasons other than what I'm actually looking at. They're upset about weapon balance, and I'm upset about talking and showing things that aren't finished. I don't know. So anyways, that was my little rant. Let me know in the comments what you think about this update, how you guys feel about guns and gear sets being pulled before the update is ever even released, and what do you guys think needs to happen. Try to keep it civil, try to keep it fair to the developers. Don't lash out at the community, guys. They're not the ones who make these choices. They're the ones that just have to bring you the news. Don't lash out at anybody, actually. Be kind, be respectful to these people. We need to give constructive criticism to these guys in order to help make this game the best game it can be. So anyways, this has been Boomslangg, and I will see you in the next video.